Hello, everyone. Emily, how are you?
I'm good. I was just rocking out to our theme song.
Me too, actually. I was doing like a little dance, so
Yeah.
that's awesome.
How
It
are
is
you?
it is good. I like the tune. I'm really great. Looking forward to we're on the cusp of a weekend as we record this, so I'm
Mhm.
really looking forward to that. So, how about
Yes.
yourself? You doing all right?
Yep, I'm also looking forward to the weekend. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. Just wanted to let everyone know why we're talking to you today. So, thank you for joining us, whether you're joining us right when this debuts or if you're joining us down the line. Earlier this summer, summer of 2023, AARP announced the chosen grantees for our Community Challenge Grant program for the year. So these organizations are from all over Indiana, and they are striving to make their communities more livable for residents of all ages and abilities. As you heard in our live announcement way back in June, and you've probably seen over the past couple months, we are conducting interviews with every single one of those grantees. And we are very excited. We have talked to five so far. This is our sixth, and we have one more to go. So you will see that soon. And on our last, this is an interview with our grantee, you heard from our friends at the Retired Senior Volunteer Program of Daviess County, known as RSVP Center in Washington, Indiana. So down there, sort of close to Evansville, where AARP kind of has a presence. So we are now moving back to central Indiana. We're going to be in Indianapolis, talking to our friends at Stillwater's Adult Day Center. And we want to bring on Diana Keeley and Kieta Norwood. Hey, how are you?
We're doing good. Thank you for letting us talk about our experience with this grant.
Absolutely. I love that you have the AARP Community Challenge Grant shirts on. That's awesome. Good to see you both. Hey, Emily has it too. I love
Matching.
That's great. Well, before we dive into this important conversation, this is not Diana's first time on this program. So I just wanted to plug that she joined us for our Caregiver Weeklies program back in the fall of 2022. So that was just a program talking about caregiving and aging in place and how adult day centers are important to that whole trying to enable people to age in place and age in their homes. So really important tool. Recommend that you check that out on our Facebook page in our video section. So wanted to make a quick plug before we jump into the
Hmm.
conversation. So Diana, Kieta, for those who have not heard of Stillwater's Adult Day Center, can you tell us more about the organization and your roles there?
Yeah, so I'm Diana, and I'm the director of Stillwaters. Hieta is one of the frontline staff, direct caregivers at the center. We actually are an adult day center, level two. As I discussed a little bit in the past, there's three levels to a day center: level one, level two, and level three. Level one is more of a social component. Level two is a social and a medical, and then level three is just a more intensive of social and medical. So we are level two. That means we have a nurse on site, an LPN on site, and all the staff are CNAs, along with the QMA. We are unique because we really specialize in seniors 55 and older. That way it creates a dynamic with the guests, and they build a friendship with one another. Our goal at Stillwaters, and any day center, is to maximize the level of independence to help the individual stay home versus having to go to a long term care facility. Um, our goal is to provide support, respite, and education for families and caregivers. We really stride ourselves on doing a lot to the caregivers and families. We do monthly caregiver events that we bring individuals in on educational topics on caregiving. Our other goal is at the center is to help our guests engage in socialization and peer interaction. We know that them coming to the center will help them promote social, physical, and mental well-being, which will help them stay more physical and able to stay at the home versus having to go to a long-term care facility.
That is amazing. Thank you for that description. And the work that you all do there is really incredible. And so your application was one that stood out among, I think we had over 80 applications in the state of Indiana. And yours was actually one of only two micro grants that were selected in the state. And so that just shows you how much it really stood out to us. So I just wondered if you could maybe tell us a little bit more about what your project is specifically with your community garden.
Yeah. So we currently had a small garden. Few years back, probably 5 or 6 years ago, we had a local Boy Scout for his Eagle Scout Award build us two raised flower beds. We've been using those two raised beds to produce produce for our center. So in the spring, we get out there, we plant the different vegetables, and then we harvest it with the guests throughout the summer. We saw that there was such a need not only for our guests to harvest the garden, but also the community. We sit in a great location with individuals around the area. We actually had individuals coming into our garden and picking the produce in the years past. So we knew that there was a need to increase it to make it more a community garden. So with this grant, we were actually able to expand our current garden and bring the community component into gardening. We wanted to bring people together over gardening. So with this grant, we put in additional plots that we allow the community that could adopt free of charge. We use the funds for the grant to not only build the plots, but also to provide a gift card or their first purchase of seedlings for their garden. So it was turnkey. Here's your, tell me what you want in your garden. I went out and purchased all the supplies for the garden for the individuals. And then they then planted their own garden. And it was so much fun to see people come into the garden and plant, grow, and harvest together. I'm actually going to let Kieta, one of our staff, she was one of the first ones who said, I want to adopt one of the plots. So I'm going to let her share with you her experience of, her first gardening experience.
It was really fun to learn how to garden. I never knew how to garden before. I honestly never knew how easy it was to grow my own produce. I love watching others grow. It was fun to pick my harvest with fellow gardeners. I was grateful to get this experience and to learn from it. I am already planning my own garden at home for next year, teaching my children and grandchildren how to garden. It is so rewarding to plant our own gardens, and I have some things that I garden and got.
Wow, cool.
I
I
did
love that.
cabbage, cucumbers, and different things,
Yeah.
and it was a great experience.
For Kieta, I loved it. I loved watching her out there. Because I asked her what plants she wanted. She said, well, what plants do I need? So, we discussed the whole process. These are plants that I would recommend. Easy plants, harder plants. And it was fun. I loved watching her expression when she, first of all, when she was planting it, she's like, what is this? And then it started growing and it started producing, the different, vegetables off of it. And when she picked her first, what'd you pick first? The cucumber or tomato?
Cucumbers.
And her expression when she picked that cucumber, it's on her social media page. You got to look at it. She's like, look at what I got. So it was fun watching. It was fun watching individuals who've never gardened before learn how to garden.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, very, very heartwarming to hear that. Like, it's just, it's not only a staff and your clientele who are utilizing it, but it's the greater community. So, Diana, is there any like livable aspects of this project that's making? Are there any aspects of this project that are really making your neighborhood, the community that you're located in, more livable? You touched on it a little bit. I don't know if there's any like specific stories or anecdotes you could tell us of just interacting with the neighbors in the community, or anything you'd like to share.
Yeah, we have a low income apartment complex, right? Like literally a block down the road from us, and also just the community around us that comes in here. So, we sit in a very in a lower income area in this quadrant that we're in right now. So the garden, it provides fresh, healthy food, especially with grocery prices as they are right now. It gives people an option to grow their own harvest and have access to fresh vegetables that otherwise they might not have. it also, like I alluded earlier, it promotes community involvement. It provides a place that people can gather and socialize together. They, come together, they plant together, they laugh together, they harvest together. It's just a fun environment for our community, our individuals to come together. And, I think the biggest thing it does, it beautifies our space. It just makes it so pretty. I love looking out there, and I love as I walk in the morning, from starting from nothing to seeing the expansion and seeing, we put mulch around it. I mean, it looks pretty. It just adds a really pretty space to our area.
I absolutely love hearing all that. I planted my own little garden this year, and so I learned a lot. I'm not a good gardener, and so I learned.
There's no such thing as not a good gardener.
I mean, I learned that I don't need to plant 6 cucumber plants for 2 people. And so, like,
Yes.
it just exploded with cucumbers, and I was bringing them into the office to everybody because I just had so many. But it's just the most rewarding, fun thing ever. So I love hearing all of those stories. It's
And
amazing.
the other thing about gardening is, which we learned through this process, is that it's okay to fail at things. Like you said, to have too
Yep.
many cucumbers, because if you don't learn from and that's what I told my staff, the others, we had 8 plots that were adopted this year. So I had individuals from the community. I had 2 of my staff members adopt. And like I shared with people, the goal is that you plant it. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it doesn't. You learn from it. I mean,
Yep.
I've never planted a cabbage in my life. There was probably 8 cabbages out there, and they all actually grew amazing. It was fun to harvest a cabbage and make some cabbage soup with it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I guess you win some and you lose some, and that's okay. That's all part of the process. I need to
Yes.
remind myself of that sometimes too. Um, so just to go back to what we were talking about, your grant is one of our micro grants. And so with that grant, you get assistance from our Livable Communities partner, 880 Cities. And so I wondered if you could talk a little bit about how that partnership has helped you with their technical assistance that they've provided.
Yeah, we actually have received so much helpful material in promoting communities and this gardening itself. With this grant and this opportunity, it gave us a social network with other organizations around the United States. So it's fun to watch gardeners in Oklahoma and Utah. Last week, we had a podcast and a informational session on different insects and bugs. So it's just fun to watch other organizations and listen to others and just have a community network to work with. And like I said, we also have the monthly educational sessions. So that helps us they asked us what specific areas we needed help with. And so they found experts in the field to assist us with different questions and answers. And then we've also have access to the 880 Cities curriculum, which we can utilize on our own to help create a more vibrant and healthy space within our own area.
That's incredible. I love to hear about the hands-on technical assistance. So I'm glad that it's suitable to your needs. They're really meeting you where you are. That's really cool. So you built on existing garden beds already. So what does the future hold for this project? What are you most looking forward to? Coming online with this. Are you going to start new programming or anything like that, or is there anything that you're building on with this project?
It's fun because as individuals, because Stillwaters is also part of the Castleton United Methodist Church. So we sit on the back side of the church. So we have a lot of individuals who come through our area on a daily basis. And we also are part of the Cummins preschool program, which is a very prominent preschool program here in the area. So we get a lot of individuals who walk by the garden daily. We actually had a Boy Scout who was looking for his Eagle Scout award. So he reached out to me a couple months ago and he said he would love to somehow expand on the garden. So we sat down, put a plan together, and he actually built 4 benches for us just recently. We actually just had them installed on Saturday. So once again, check out our social media page. You can see the cool benches that he built. But this was a great addition to provide a space for people to sit and socialize. We're also looking for ways to expand. We do a first Saturday event. So we're looking for additional ways to bring a master gardener in the spring and to offer more advice, because once again, we learned that a lot of people don't know gardening is possible for them. And even a small garden, people I think are intimidated because people think, oh my gosh, I have to do so much to get a garden. It can be a bucket in your backyard that you stick a tomato plant in, all the way to tilling up your first garden. And I don't think people understand that there are so many ways that you can create a garden without being overwhelmed by the idea. So I just really want to bring the community together on some master gardener sessions in the spring to educate individuals on how to garden.
For sure. That's so cool.
That is so cool. And I just want to thank you both for today. This was such a great conversation and arguably maybe one of my favorite grants that we've done. Just personally, to me, it's something I'm super interested in. So props to you guys for all your hard work and everything you've put into this. Before we do sign off, is there anything else you want to mention or plug before I wrap things up?
We just want to say thank you. Yeah, AARP was great for giving us this opportunity to expand our current garden, and also giving the community the opportunity to learn from it also. Definitely go look at us on social media, like our page, follow us, because not only do we have upcoming events, for instance, like the Master Gardener, we have a meditation. We have a meditation series coming up starting in November. We try to continuously do programming and opportunities for the community that are free for the public to come in. So follow us on social media so you can definitely get engaged with our Saturday events to to learn some more from the community and be engaged with the community.
Amazing. And I think we had the link up as you were talking, so hopefully people can head to that page and follow you. So thank you both so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. And to everybody else who tuned in, be sure to check back here on our Facebook page to hear more about how the AARP Community Challenge Grant Program is making communities across Indiana even more livable for people of all ages. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.